In 1974, a crime shocked America and captivated the world. Patty Hearst, the 19-year-old granddaughter of publishing magnate William Randolph Hearst, was kidnapped from her Berkeley, California apartment by a radical group calling itself the Symbionese Liberation Army, or SLA. This small militant organization aimed to overthrow the government and establish what they called justice for the oppressed. But how does an heiress, born into privilege, go from a victim to the face of a revolutionary movement? This is the story of Patty Hearst. The Symbionese Liberation Army was unlike any other group in the US at the time. Composed of no more than a dozen members, it was known for violent acts, including the murder of a school superintendent. After abducting Patty Hearst, the SLA demanded that her family distribute $70 million worth of food to California's poor. The Hearst family scrambled to comply, setting up a food giveaway worth $6 million, an enormous effort that ended in chaos as desperate crowds fought for supplies. Yet, the SLA deemed the effort insufficient, and Patty's captivity continued. What happened next stunned the nation. Weeks after her abduction, Patty Hearst was spotted on security camera footage, participating in an armed robbery at the Hibernia Bank in San Francisco. She held a rifle, appearing calm and in control, as she demanded money alongside her captors. She also publicly declared her allegiance to the SLA, denouncing her family and their wealth. Many wondered, had she been brainwashed, or was she now a willing revolutionary? Psychologists and experts pointed to a phenomenon called Stockholm Syndrome, where hostages develop sympathy for their captors as a survival mechanism. Patty herself later claimed that the SLA had abused and threatened her life, leaving her no choice but to comply. However, skeptics argued that her actions, beyond the initial robbery, suggested she had embraced their cause. Over the next year, she continued to appear in SLA propaganda, participated in additional crimes, and evaded capture. The FBI's manhunt for Patty Hearst dominated headlines. Despite her new revolutionary persona, the public was divided. Was she a victim or a villain? The debate only intensified after a dramatic police shootout in Los Angeles left 6 SLA members dead, further isolating Patty and the remaining fugitives. Her eventual arrest in September 1975 brought an end to her life on the run, but it was only the beginning of another ordeal. Patty Hearst's trial became one of the most sensational legal battles of the decade. Her defense argued that she had been brainwashed and was acting under duress, while the prosecution painted her as a willing participant in the SLA's crimes. Ultimately, she was convicted of bank robbery and sentenced to 7 years in prison. However, public opinion continued to sway in her favor, and in 1979, President Jimmy Carter commuted her sentence. Decades later, she was fully pardoned by President Bill Clinton. The story of Patty Hearst remains one of the most puzzling chapters in American history. Her case raised questions about victimhood, agency, and the power of psychological manipulation. Was she an heiress forced into a life of crime, or a revolutionary who chose to fight alongside her captors? To this day, opinions remain divided, and her story continues to spark debate. One thing is certain: the kidnapping of Patty Hearst was not just a crime. It was a cultural moment that changed the way America viewed justice, privilege, and the complexity of human behavior.